Yes, I truly believe the Eagles can beat the Saints on Sunday at 1 p.m. I truly believe it. We're going to learn really fast whether the Saints are for real or not. We're going to learn really fast where the Eagles have concerns or not. I believe the Eagles are good. I believe the Saints not as good as their record says. Let's get at it. Trending the AM, keys to victory, predictions, thoughts, final thoughts. We're talking it in 60 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on Edge of Philly Sports. We are live, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. You know the drill. Wherever you are watching, whatever platform you're watching on, please hit that like button, that share and subscribe button, that follow button, whatever you got to do. Get those buttons clicked. It's free to do. It's free to support a local podcaster, a local content creator, and a local channel. Guys, it doesn't cost a thing to do those subscribe and follow and share and like buttons. So do that for me if you do not mind. I'm your host, Phil Stiefel, every single morning right here on Trending in the AM. You can find me on all social media platforms at Beard and Knowledge, as it says right there. Got lots to talk about. It's Eagles, Saints, Sunday, 1 p.m. down in New Orleans. Big game. Big game. I won't use the term must win, but it's a big game for the Philadelphia Eagles to get the season back on track after everybody got so disappointed on Monday Night Football against the Atlanta Falcons. I'll be honest. I'm not as worried as other people are. I think this Eagles team can win this game. I think the Eagles. Oh, hold on. What? Hold on. I saw this comment pop in. I thought we were getting to a Jalen Hurts bashing, but I see this. We got breaking news today. All right. See, that's what I love about Trending in the AM. Breaking news happens while we're going on the air. All right, Shams Charnia, one-time MVP, signed a 3-year, $193 million extension. Joel Embiid with the Sixers with a player option for 28-29. So that locks him up pretty much for the rest of his career here in Philadelphia. Wow, Joel Embiid. I don't know if I would say what Brian said in a horrible extension. It is what it is. Wow. Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, they are here for the long haul. We're going to get 4 or 5 more years of Joel Embiid in Philadelphia as we gear towards that new stadium that'll be happening after the contract is over. Good for Joel. You had to give Joel Embiid that contract. You had to. Absolutely had to give him that contract. You can't let somebody like Joel Embiid walk. You knew the contract was coming. You knew it was going to happen before training camp starts. I think what's that, October 1st down the Bahamas when training camp starts. I'm glad it's done and out of the way before the season gets underway, before camp gets underway. Don't need any lingering issues for the Sixers. Interesting. Very interesting, shocking, breaking, well, not shocking, but breaking news as we kick this show off today. Not on my bingo card. No things to talk about. I knew we were going to talk Eagles today, talk NFL today, maybe a little Taiwan Walker. Did not know. I was going to be talking Joel Embiid and his contract extension. Let me see what else I can see or find here. The first thing that pops up is Sean Barnard, regular on this show. No surprise. He says, no brainer. You have to do it. You have to take care of it. He's earned every penny of this contract. I'm not sure why anybody would be not happy with it. If you don't keep Joel Embiid, you basically are going back to square one. Embiid got his extension. Good morning, Little G. I hope you are well this morning. Michael, what's up? What the hell was Robbie thinking starting Taiwan Walker against the Mets? Well, who else was there? Um, there was nobody else to start. Pretty much had to go with it. He sucks, but I get what he was saying. You got to win 2 out of 4 against the Mets. Didn't want to burn the bullpen last night. It is what it is. I mean, it sucks. I'm glad I was right on that contract. I hate being right sometimes. I like to say I'm wrong sometimes. Drew right away saying 51-24 Saints. I have no faith in the D-line. God damn, Drew. If the Saints put up 51 on the Eagles on Monday or Sunday, you might as well just fire Vic Fangio right now because that is atrocious, Drew. That would be an atrocious thing, and I do not think that that's going to happen. I do think the Eagles are going to win most likely. I've got some keys to victory and things I'm going to be looking at. I do not think the Saints, led by Derek Carr, are, 91 points in 2 games good. They're not that good, Drew. I know Alvin Kamara's having a heck of a start to the season, a little rejuvenation in his career, but they're not 91 points good. And you got to remember, they played the Carolina Panthers in week 1, which pretty much everybody, was going to beat. Now they go into Andy Dalton. I don't know if that's going to be much better. Let's not put the Saints in the Super Bowl just yet, guys. Let's understand the Saints are a good team. But I don't even think they're the best team in their own division. So I am not concerned with it being that kind of a scary blowout right there. I rather a little league pitcher than Taiwan Walker. Look, Taiwan Walker was one of the worst. I heard the group chat for EOP was like, is it the worst Phillies pitcher signing of all time? I started thinking Adam Eaton, was that 07? Andy Ashby the second time. That was a pretty bad pitching signing there. Trying to think of all the worst pitching signings of all time. Taiwan Walker's 4 years, $72 million. I called it when the contract was announced that it was going to be a big mistake. Although I don't think the Joel Embiid contract extension will be a big mistake. I can make instant reactions on all contracts that are signed. He needs to change up the scheme. Oh, look. So the Eagles defense, first and foremost, let's attack the news from yesterday with the Eagles defense, and that's that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson did not practice. Popped up on the injury report yesterday and did not practice yesterday. And, the rumors seem to be that it's not a big deal. The rumors seem to be that it shouldn't be a serious injury and he should be good to go. Problem is, if you don't go, if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson can't go, what do you do with safety? Do you go Vontae Maddox? And you slide Quinyon inside, go Isaiah Rodgers outside? Do you put Tristan McCollum back there? Just leave the cornerbacks as is? What do you do at safety? It's a really, really interesting question. I'm hoping Chauncey Gardner-Johnson plays, though. I would rather see Abel McGarry than Walker. Yeah, I mean, you're punting on a game, so maybe you just give one of the young kids a shot. Maybe I see that aspect of it, Michael. You're paying a guy $72 million, so you want to give him the opportunity to do the best he or to get some money out of that contract. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not upset. I'm not freaking out because the Eagles lost or the Phillies lost last night. It is what it is. I hate that line, but it is what it is. Don't see it. Don't see the Eagles winning. Well, I understand the frustration with Eagles fans. But again, let's break this down, Chris. The Eagles have a very difficult start to the season. Said it right from the get-go. All right, I said max them out 2-2 to start the season. That's actually what I predicted. I predicted win, loss to start the season. Then into the bye. You got a new defense coordinator. You got a lot of young, new defensive players. You've got an offense with a new coordinator. You've got a new center. You got a new right guard playing the position for the first time ever. There was bound to be some early season struggles with the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not meaning that the season is over. It does not mean that the ceiling is caving in, even if they go out there and lose on Sunday. And I do not think they will. I don't think it's time to pack it in on this team. It's not time to start calling for Nick Sirianni's job. It's not time to start, the Jalen Hurts bashing from week 2. It's just not. This is a very talented team on paper. And it doesn't always win when it's on paper. But it's a very talented team. And I don't see a scenario where the talent will let it get too bad. You're also missing last week your number 1 wide receiver in A.J. Brown. So let's throw that out there as well. You need to let the corners play press man more, but that's not Vic Fangio's style. True. And I told everybody when Vic Fangio was hired to relax, okay, that everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's go Vic Fangio. Like, if you didn't like the way Sean Desai did business, that you really weren't going to like Vic Fangio. We love Vic Fangio because of his way he speaks bluntly to the media, but he's been a good defensive coordinator that's had great seasons. He's had bad seasons as well. I mean, he was not going to give you the defensive scheme that you want, that most Eagles fans want. That is not what we are going to do. It just wasn't going to happen. So you got to understand, you're not going to get press man. You're not going to get blitz heavy defenses. You got to hope your front 4 or 5 can get home, and you're going to play soft defense and hope your linebackers and safeties do their job. Now, I want to know, and it's something I brought up on Twitter, and nobody really had an answer for me yesterday. How much say does Vic Fangio really truly have in his personnel? I know some of the players were brought in for him. Some of them weren't. Devin White should be playing. Jalen Hunt should be playing, but they're not. Is this one of those scenarios where we've seen in the past where Howie Roseman makes the game day roster determinations and Vic Fangio is just stuck doing whatever he can with what he is given? Jackson Carter saying 24 Saints, 20 Eagles. Yeah, I mean, I got something similar to that written down here because I always write down 4 predictions throughout the week, and then by the end of the show, circle the final one. Something close to that is written down for a Saints victory because I think, yes, the Eagles can win this game. I'm not 100% sure they're going to win this game. Now, they are 2.5-point dogs in the game, the last I looked. It's not a big enough line. The Eagles just got beat by the Falcons on Monday Night Football. They're playing on a short week. They're going on the road for the second time in 3 weeks, and they're only 2.5-point dogs to a 2-0 Saints team. Think about that. If Eagles fans were freaking out, that line, the way the Eagles fans were freaking out was true and really the case, that Eagles Saints line should be 5.5, 6.5, not 2.5. Just saying. I like to see that. Laurie needs to sell the team. Why does he need to sell the team? And he is going to sell 10% of the team as soon as that new rule gets ratified and passes. Just so you know, where you can sell 10% of the team. If you don't have a good D line, the scheme doesn't work. Absolutely. And the defensive line, Drew, needs some major rotational issue or changes. I don't want to see Carter playing 75% of snaps anymore. Huff, needs to play less. Booker, Ojomo need to play more. Jalen Hunt, your guys Huff, Brandon Graham, Sweat, Nolan Smith are not getting home. So why not give Jalen Hunt 5-6 snaps tomorrow or Sunday and see what he can do? That's where I look. I'm looking at the rotational use. Keep Jalen Carter fresher. So in the fourth quarter, when you're fighting for your life, Jalen Carter's got a little gas left in the tank. We're burning out our guys super fast because of the rotation. And I'm not sure why Vic Fangio or whoever doesn't have the faith in Ojomo or Booker. I mean, Thomas Booker played 9 snaps on Monday Night Football. You would think with how bad some of the other guys were playing that he could have gotten in a few more snaps. But no. We have not yet begun to freak out. Oh, people have freaked out. Go on Twitter, K1. People are packing it in, calling for jobs, calling for trades, calling for this and that, calling for Hassan Reddick to be brought back. I don't get it. Like, in my mind, there was no scenario where we were going to come out of the gate and go 4-0. I know a lot of Eagles fans predicted that. And see, the thing is, that's why I give myself realistic expectations for seasons for all my Philadelphia sports teams. So that when it doesn't go undefeated to start the first 6 weeks of the season, you're not freaking out. There's no scenario where the Eagles were going to be better than 2-2 to start this season. Not with the travel involved, not with all the new pieces moving around and learning to get their footing. Just never was going to happen. I fully believe this team by week 5, by week 6, by week 7 will hit their groove. We just got to tread water right now. We got to hope A.J. Brown is back after the bye. That's what I say. That's what I think. Which edge rusher on the Eagles get pressure on Carr as they couldn't sniff Cousins? Look, you're not going to sack Derek Carr much. He's completed 76% of his passes through 2 weeks. He's got 5 tutties and 1 interception. The team averages 4.9 yards per carry running the ball. Derek Carr's, I think, the first or second quickest release of the ball per snap in the NFL this year so far. You're not going to sack him, but you got to get at least a little pressure and press him out of the pocket. Put your hands up in his face. I don't know. Maybe I missed it last week. I don't think I saw in the first 2 weeks one batted ball. All right, you're not getting home. But when you realize you can't get home, arms up. Knock that ball down at the line of scrimmage. I don't think I saw one batted ball in the first 2 weeks at the line of scrimmage. I could be wrong on that. That's technique. That's planned. There's a lot that goes into that it's just not happening. It's kind of frustrating, to be honest with you. They've got to do a better job with that. So how you get more pressure, maybe you give Jalen Hunt a shot. Maybe Devin White should dress and be put on the outside or put in the middle so that Zach Bond can get after the quarterback, which is what he does well too. There's got to be a different rotation used on Sunday. I'm not mentally prepared to come on this show on Monday and deal with a massive Eagles disaster. Just have to tread water. That's what it is. You ain't going to get me today. I am so far under the weather today. You're lucky I am even here with you today. So you're not going to make fun of my speech at all today. All right? Just going to throw that out there, K1. The fact that I'm here is a win for me. All right? I'm not going to enunciate properly today. You're going to get all the Delco accents out of me today, just so you know. And I don't even think it's getting pressure on Derek Carr that's the most important thing at this point. I'm more concerned. Vic Fangio said this. Before we even worry about that, we've got to stop the run. The defensive line, Jordan Davis is supposed to be this run stopper in the middle. Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, great at stopping the run. They're not doing it. We've given up so many, or such a high average per run this year that we got to be better at that. We can't allow Alvin Kamara to continue to cook. Alvin Kamara's got 198 rushing yards in 2 weeks, plus 92 receiving yards. He's got 5 tutties. He's averaging 5.7 yards per carry. The dude looks like he's found the fountain of youth out there. That's crazy. That you need to stop the run and have 2nd and 8, 3rd and 8, so that then you don't have these 2-second drops and fires. That's what you need to do, so that you can then actually get pressure. But when you give up 5 yards on the first play, 4 yards on the second play, and they're at 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 1, 2, 3, ball gone. That's how Derek Carr has a 76% completion percentage this year. Run, pass. It's pretty simple. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. In my opinion, it's the defensive personnel there. It could be. Could be we just don't have as many talented players as we think we do on this defense. You know, it might go down. I don't think it will. I hope it doesn't. But it may go down that Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis are not the guys we expected or hoped they were. We might look back in 3 years and be like, how he fumbled. We thought he did great, but he might have fumbled the bag. It could turn out that way. I don't know if it will, but it could. And we won't know for sure for another year or two if that is really, truly the case. Jalen Carter is such an athletic freak. He's got to be better than what he is right now. He's got to be. We can't keep expecting him to continue playing at this level. You got to think he's going to do better than this. I hope he's going to do better than this, but you got to expect it. The Eagles need to control the ball by running against the Saints. Absolutely. In the last 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks, Michael, we've had 10 long scoring drives. 10. We need to continue that. Continue utilizing Saquon Barkley. Set up Devontae Smith. Set up Dallas Goedert to make these big plays by, you know what, running the ball effectively and continuing to run the ball effectively. That's what we need to do. I hope we do it. I think we'll do it. I don't know if we'll do it, though. We will find out in 2 days. Jordan Davis actually had a batted ball. Did he? Again, watching it in Mexico, I can't say that my focus was 1,000% on every single play. Watching it at a Cancun beach bar, you know, I was kind of sidetracked a lot. So I'm going to give myself the benefit of the doubt on missing that one. But this has been a problem for a long time, Joseph. I kind of remember doing this a lot last year on this show. Get your hands up. Get your hands up. That's how you stop somebody. That's how you create pressure. You can create pressure by not getting to the quarterback. Create pressure by clogging up those throwing lanes. That's how you do it. They just don't, or haven't effectively yet. Sacks matter in the NFL, and from what I am seeing from the edge rushers, the Eagles' edge rushers is no dog. Yeah, at this point, it's time to start questioning Nolan Smith and start questioning Bryce Huff already. 100%. It is. I'm sure all good. I would have been enjoying the sun and the warm weather as well. I mean, I wasn't going to miss the game, but I also wasn't zoned in 110%. I just wasn't. I can't get my eyes up today. My eyes are drooping today. I think I had like 3-4 hours of sleep last night, K1. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's been a long last 14, 16 hours for me. All right. I got to keep my hands down and doing things because they're shaking from the cold sweats right now. All right. Just saying. But we're going to keep the eyes down today. We're going to keep the focus on, I don't know what we're going to keep the focus on today. Nolan Smith has been the lightest edge rusher I've ever saw. Yeah, I don't know. Rumor was at the start of camp that he put on more muscle. This was going to be his year. He started out injured last year. I don't know. It's almost looked like to me with Nolan Smith that he's regressed. I mean, he wasn't great last year, but he had that injury excuse built in to give him the benefit of the doubt. At the end of last season, he started making a few plays, not many, a few plays here and there. I can't remember seeing Nolan Smith on the field once in the first 2 weeks. Bryce Huff, I think it has 1 tackle or 2 tackles, so at least he's done something. But Nolan Smith is non-existent. And the fact that Nolan Smith is non-existent, Michael, and we haven't given 1 snap to Jalen Hunt. He was inactive week 1. Last week, he just played special teams. Nolan Smith played 23 snaps last week. Bryce Huff, 32. That is 55 snaps. You're telling me that those 55 snaps, you couldn't give 10 of those to Jalen Hunt just to see? Because they're doing nothing, the guys you're playing. So why not give them 5 to 10 snaps? Doesn't make sense to me. Just like Cooper DeJean. I bring up Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's injury. And what you do there. Telling me you can't get Cooper DeJean more than 1 snap last week? Because Vic Fangio says he's working on his slot corner play, and that's it. They used him in dime week 1, and they just want to keep him as slot corner 2. Well, Avonte Maddox played 90% of the snaps last week. And Avonte Maddox sucks. So where is this Vic Fangio mid-game adjustments? Vic Fangio goes in with a game plan. That's one thing Sean Desai did well last year. I will give Sean Desai early in the season some credit last year. His game plans were terrible, but he made great halftime adjustments, and our defense progressed throughout a game. That's not happening this year under Vic Fangio. Vic Fangio is a stubborn, grumpy-ass old man that does it his way or the highway. It's not the way to do business. It's just not. At least in my opinion. There's 2 real big keys to win this game for the Eagles. And this is what they have to do to get the job done. They need to run the ball effectively to keep the ball out of Derek Carr's hands, and they got to stop Kamara at the line of game. It's all run game. And if you look across the NFL through 2 weeks, the running attacks of a lot of teams, or I shouldn't say that, the run philosophies of a lot of teams has increased. More teams are running the ball and controlling the clock this year than most years recently. And it's kind of interesting to see that swing in NFL offensive philosophies. It's kind of interesting to see, teams run the ball, control the clock, and do that. And I don't know why that is, but we need to see more of that this week from the Eagles. Britton Covey has more solo tackles this season than Bryce Huff. I mean, no offense. That is disgusting. That is a true fact. And I vaguely remember looking at that, the other day. That is disgusting, Kyle. That's disgusting. The fact that Britton Covey had more catches and targets than Dallas Goedert, also disgusting last week. And I'm a Britton Covey guy. I like Britton Covey. I think he's a good depth back-end piece of a football team. Fifth wide receiver, punt returner, whatever. But the fact that he's got more catches than Dallas Goedert last week and more tackles on the season than Bryce Huff. I mean, I said it on this show the second Bryce Huff was signed, that this is a boom bust signing. He played 4 seasons with the Jets. 3 of them he was non-existent. Last year was a one-hit wonder potential, and he only played 42% of snaps. He played 52% of snaps last week and still couldn't do anything more. It's disgusting that this is even remotely in the conversation. They ran the ball effectively, except the one play when they decided to pass. Look, Freddie, and what's up, my man? Hope you're well today. I still don't hate the play call. The play call was there. The play design was there. The play execution from one person failed us. And everybody wants to bash Jalen Hurts for the interception to end the game. But no one wants to bash Saquon Barkley for dropping that pass and setting it up to the point where we had to even get to that point. Nobody wants to blame Quinyon Mitchell for letting, I forget which receiver, get out of bounds. Nobody's blaming Darius Slay for giving up the touchdown. His video after the game with Drake London still does not sit well with me. Him being all buddy-buddy with him. Yeah, good route, man. It still doesn't sit well. It's always Jalen Hurts' fault. It's always Nick Sirianni's fault. Well, you know what? Saquon Barkley deserves blame. Quinyon Mitchell, my man, deserves blame. Bryce Huff deserves blame. Vic Fangio deserves a massive amount of blame for how these first 2 weeks defensively have looked. But all this negative we keep talking about, I'm still sitting here on Friday morning, 9:20, saying the Eagles still can win this game if they control the clock by running the ball, and if they keep Kamara, they don't even have to stop him at the line of game. As long as they stop him on first contact. As long as we set the Saints up on 3rd and long instead of 3rd and short as often as possible, the Eagles can win this game. And that's the thing. So far, you look at all the quarterbacks we faced. They're all quarterbacks that are getting rid of the ball super fast. So if you stop the runners and you give the defensive line a chance to pressure the quarterback, okay? That's all they need. They need a chance. When it's 3rd and 3, the play designs from the offense are totally different than 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. You get 2-step, 3-step drops on 3rd and 3. Makes it almost impossible to get pressure. When it's 3rd and 8, you have 5-step drops because you need longer plays to develop. Now you've got a chance to get after the quarterback. We need to stop them on 1st and 2nd down. And then that gives your defensive line a chance to cook. What's up, TJ? The play before that, it was offside on Atlanta, but Mailata didn't touch him to make it offsides. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. I do, actually. Yeah. Absolutely. That could have changed things, too. Clint Kubiak play calling is so ideal for Kamara. Stopping Kamara is the key. I agree. 5.7 yards per carry, 290 yards total, and 5 tutties for Kamara so far through 2 weeks. Now, yes, Carolina was the first week team. So, well, we got to take some of this into account. Blame that play call. You don't not pass in that situation. No, the play was perfect. Nobody expected it. All you got to do is catch the ball. And we're 2-0 this week instead of 1-1. Actually, I don't know that. They still didn't have confidence in the defense stopping Kirk Cousins there. What about when the Falcons jumped into the neutral zone and the O-line didn't jump to get offsides? Yeah, that's what TJ said there a second ago. I missed it during the game again, drinking, Cancun, beachfront. Very hard to focus on the details. But then I did see that in replays later on and in comments online. Yeah, that would have given you the first down as well. And then we wouldn't be talking about the play call. Greg Cassell does a great breakdown on Inside the Birds. He does, absolutely. Showing all the open receivers. How he bowed from the pocket was your pressure. It was nauseating. But I saw plenty of plays where he stayed. I can't remember what part of the game. He got pressure on Lane Johnson gave up the pressure, and he slid up to the right. And then somebody else came. So he slid to the left. And he fired downfield to Devontae Smith. He can do it. But again, it goes to the offensive line gives up more pressure than we realize, than we think. There's got to be a confidence factor between the quarterback and the offensive line to not bail from the pocket. And yes, he does miss open receivers. But I don't Greg Cassell's doing these breakdowns, and he does a great job of these breakdowns, but he's not bringing up any of the good plays that he makes, right? He's not bringing up that play to Devontae Smith where he stayed in the pocket and made a key first down throw, is he? Just say. So Nick Sirianni has come out and said that there were two options on the interception play. One was pass to Saquon, and two, Jalen take a knee and let the clock run down. Yeah, Jalen Hurts took credit for that mistake and said yes. He was trying to let Devontae Smith have an opportunity to make a play, but he shouldn't have done that. And he knows. And yes, Goddard was open all night. Well, I don't know. I don't know what the disconnect between Dallas Goedert and Jalen Hurts and the offense is. Because in the last 2 years, so last year and 2 weeks, that's what, 17, 18, 19 games. He missed, 4 or 5 games last year. So that's like 14 or 15 games. He's had 9 games of under 60 yards. If Dallas Goedert is so elite, Dallas Goedert should be having 7, 8 touchdowns. He should be an 800, 900,000 yard tight end receiver. He's not. And yes, maybe some of it is Jalen Hurts not seeing him. Maybe it's also something about Dallas Goedert. And I don't know what that is. I think there's a serious issue there. Serious disconnect there. Yeah, we saw that right at the start of the show, Adam. Yes, for those that are just joining in now, Joel Embiid did sign a 3-year extension for $192 million, plus a 4th-year player option, which could keep him here through 2029. An obvious must-make move for the Sixers. It's frustrating at times, the Joel Embiid era, but you have to keep your big man. You got to keep your generational talent. You can't let him walk. It's a move that the Sixers had to make and that they did make. And it's good that they got the deal done now. Training camp starts, I believe it's October 1st or October 2nd in the Bahamas. You wanted it done before camp, so it wasn't a lingering issue. It's a great deal. I'm happy with it. I'm content with it. But there were plays where Hurts doesn't throw when he needs to. Okay? Maybe some of it this year is because he's just not 100% involved in the new scheme from Kellen Moore as he needs to be yet. Maybe. It could be timing, rhythm. There's a lot of things that go into it. But it does confuse me because, again, I question Dallas Goedert, but I'm not doing it because I don't think he's talented. I do truly think Dallas Goedert is athletically freak for a tight end. But there's something not there with him and Jalen Hurts. We see Jalen Hurts always working out in the offseason, away from camp with A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith and stuff like that. We don't ever see Dallas Goedert. Maybe him and Dallas Goedert need to be locked in a room for a month so they could just get on the same page. I don't know what it is. It's a great move for the franchise, Kyle. You can't let your big man go. He is the franchise. Will he win us a title? Maybe, maybe not. They've got the team set up to do it this year in an Eastern Conference that can be won. But a lot's got to go right. We got to keep Joel Embiid healthy for the playoffs, or as healthy as possible. But there's going to be people that say it's a bad deal, bad extension, just move on from him. You move on from Joel Embiid, you're setting this franchise back 5-10 years, at least. So, smart move to keep the big man locked up for his career here in Philadelphia. People keep yammering about the Saints and how many points they scored. They played the Panthers. I don't even know if they're a JV squad. They're like the Holy Cross Crusaders 8th grade team. And Dallas, whose defense isn't what it was, Birds could do it. Freddie, that's exactly what I'm saying. The Saints put up 91 points through 2 weeks. The Saints offense is not 91. What's that? 45.5 points per game average good offense. They're just not that good. And the defense gave up 10 points to Bryce Young. Maybe we should say the defense sucks because you shouldn't give it. Now, that is the other thing, we got to worry about. The Saints defense. I have it in my notes somewhere here. They've got 7 sacks through 2 games, 4 interceptions. Again, they played the Panthers in week 1, so got to throw that in there as well. You got to protect Jalen, and you do that by running the ball and controlling the clock from the get-go. I'm not disregarding the interception. It was a bad play. But this goes back to, I brought this up earlier in the week. This goes back to the Eagles-Cardinals championship game. What was that, 08, 09, whatever it was, Brian? And how everyone says Donovan came up short. No, Donovan did not come up short. Donovan led the game-winning drive. Then the defense gave up a huge play. Brian Dawkins got burnt by Larry Fitzgerald. And nobody wanted to criticize him because then the Eagles got it back with 20 or 30 seconds, and Donovan McNabb couldn't lead another game-winning drive. Jalen Hurts made a mistake, but there were bigger mistakes that led up to that big mistake. So I just want equal criticism thrown to equal amounts of people that all deserve some of the blame for the loss to Atlanta. Everybody's freaking out about losing to Atlanta. I would say 55, 60% of experts predicted the Falcons to win their division. I didn't even think they'd finish. I mean, I say the Bucs are the best team, and the Saints and the Falcons are all good teams. But we got beat by a team that most predicted to win their division after coming back from Brazil with 2 road games following it up. NBA player, sure do make it. TJ, you're telling me. I would have loved to have been an NBA player. New stadium, Chinatown. Look, it happening. I don't want to get into the politics side of it. I don't know the details yet of what the mayor is doing. I don't go to a lot of sporting events anymore. I don't like big crowds anymore. I like the sports complex. It's easy access off of 95 for me. Parking is a nightmare. Chinatown, I'm not going to drive into the middle of the city to see a Sixers game. I'm just not. But my biggest issue is if she is contributing taxpayer dollars to the building of the stadium, that's wrong. Josh Harris and the ownership group, strong-arming the city of Philadelphia. I'm going to go to Camden if you don't give me what I want. That is what bothers me. The owner strong-arming the city and the city caving and giving up taxpayer dollars to build this stadium. I just saw a commercial for it. I totally forgot about it. Have not watched it. I would assume it's bad. I've watched the other seasons of that show. They tend to do a good job on it, but I can't say I'm going to watch it. I'm not sure. Maybe our quarterback only sees one receiver, locks on, and don't throw to other guys. I mean, sometimes. I think he's done a better job of that than we realized this year. I think he spread the ball around pretty well in week 1. So, turnover machine. He's got to do a better job of protecting the ball. And again, they've got 4 interceptions this year, the Saints. So you can't do that. You can't run the ball effectively, then turn it over. Why were they calling a deep shot there when they only needed 10 yards? I don't think that was the play call. And Jalen Hurts took that criticism on the chin and said, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. But see, here's the thing. You know, he said, and I'm going to criticize Kellen Moore on the play call, Anthony, and here's why. You know Jalen Hurts has a tendency to play hero ball, right? We all know that. We all hate Jalen Hurts hero ball. Jalen Hurts knows he can't play hero ball. So why would you call a play that has one route? Even say there's 4 guys out in this on the running routes. You got to run a play with 4 receivers, none of them deep down the field. You got to call a play that doesn't give Jalen Hurts the opportunity to play hero ball. That's what you got to do. So it was a bad throw by Jalen. He can't make that throw. But don't put him in a position to do that. And that's the thing. That's where Kellen Moore has got to step up as a play caller and be like, yo, we're going to run 4 curl routes, and that's it. And that's it. Just saying. Phil criticized for missing games, but praises Embiid. Don't criticize Goddard for missing them. I was using the games missed to calculate stats. And yes, Dallas Goddard missed games. And I criticize Embiid for missing games. I do. But there's a different level of superstarness between Joel Embiid and Dallas Goddard. Joel Embiid is one of the best big men in the last 25 years. Maybe a top 10 center of all time. Dallas Goddard isn't even a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. So you're comparing apples and oranges there, K1, just so you know. So I heard, what's that say? So I heard she wasn't giving up money for the stadium. Okay, so I haven't read the article yet, Mike, because I know if I do, and it says taxpayer dollars will go there, I'd be pissed off. So I don't know where the money's coming from or anything like that yet. I'm sure there's going to be tax breaks or something. She's giving up something for the Sixers to build that arena down there, whether it's taxpayer dollars, an agreement with the unions to build it. There's got to be something being given. But Josh Harris is just a terrible owner. He doesn't care about the city of Philadelphia. He does not care about the fans of Philadelphia when it comes to the stadium. Obviously, he cares a little bit to give Joel Embiid another $193 million. Harris is pulling the same stunt in D.C. Absolutely. He's probably going to move the Commanders to he's going to threaten to move the Commanders to Fairfax, probably. Northern Virginia, for those that don't know where Fairfax is, if he doesn't get what he wants from the D.C. people. And I hate that. Exactly. Okay, back to that comment on the Kellen Moore part. Okay, gotcha. Thank you. See, I get some right. Embiid is making over $65 million a year for the next 4 years. Yeah. I mean, that's the price of doing business in the NBA now, Barbara. That is the price of doing business. Embiid will never play in the new arena. He will not. But he'll help them make some money up to cover the cost of building the arena. And maybe, just maybe, we get a championship. I would say I'm not overly excited or pumped about a chance. Or my expectations aren't that they're 100% going to make a title run. But I'm curious to see how this new season plays out with Paul George. I didn't love it, but, here we are. As the season gets closer, we're 2 weeks from camp starting. Less than 2 weeks, actually. I'm curious to see how this plays out. I am pissed. I would be pissed. I'm always pissed off, especially when I feel the way I do today. Loudoun County is cheaper than Fairfax. I just know I dated a girl that was in college that was from Fairfax. So I just remember that area a little bit. I didn't remember. There's Fairfax. There's Leesburg. I know a couple towns down in that area, and that's it. I don't know. He's going to strong-arm them. And that's what Josh Harris does. Josh Harris isn't a sports owner. Josh Harris is a businessman. He's a hedge fund manager kind of guy. Cares about dollars and cents, and that is it. And it sucks. Sucks. It is what it is. But you know what doesn't suck? That is SherryTickets.com. If you want Sixers tickets, Eagles tickets, Phillies tickets, concert tickets, theater tickets, go to the best. Go to family-owned and operated since 1946, SherryTickets.com. The price you see on their website is the price you'll pay. No hidden fees. And check this out. If you use promo code EOP10 at checkout, you'll save an additional 10% VCP there. So why would you overpay with the rest? Save with the best. SherryTickets.com. Again, that special promo code to save 10% is EOP10. So check them out, guys. I greatly appreciate that. We know Adam's a big supporter of them. What's up, Mr. Bruce Bryce Harper? How we doing? We're talking Joel Embiid's contract extension. We're previewing and predicting this Eagles game. About 15 minutes from now, we will run through the entire NFL slate of games. And I'll give you my predictions. Last week I rushed them with vacation upcoming. We're going to do better than last week. So we got lots on the agenda today. Oh, no sorries about it. Dude, we do this every day. It's all good. I know everybody can't tune in for 90 minutes, 5 days a week. It's all good, my man. So before you leave, make sure you drop your Eagles Saints prediction in the comment. I love to get as many predictions from you guys as possible. I think I've zoned in on how I think the Eagles are going to win and what they're going to win by. But we'll get to that at the end of the show. I do think that some of these problems that we've seen, the dysfunction between Hurts and Goddard, maybe, the turnovers, there's definitely a learning curve and building process that needed to be built into this season with 2 new coordinators, a lot of moving pieces, new pieces, a lot of youth on defense. We really, really needed a little bit of a grace period with this team. Did you hear that bit on the Amazon game last night on how Laurie went to buy? Oh, that's common knowledge, Barbara. He got outbid by Robert Kraft and then settled on the Eagles. That's just the way it is. That's not new news. That's old news right there. So I watched a few minutes of it. And as soon as my parlay got locked in, I had a nice little 4-leg parlay on last night's game that hit. Got to start getting back on the winning ways with my gambling this week. Yeah, so I didn't catch them talking about it, but I knew that a long, long time ago. I feel happy. We got Embiid signed for 3 more years. That's it. Can he stay healthy? It's not even can he stay healthy. Can he be healthy for the playoffs? That's all that matters. Can he be healthy in April, May, June? That's all that matters. Kyle, this score was one of the 4 I wrote down. I have 2 Saints victory scores and 2 Eagles victory scores. It's not the one I zoned in on and settled on, but I do see the Eagles scoring over 30 points this week. We just have to see what the defense can do. But this was one of the 4 scores I wrote down there. So I like where your head is. I work out of Camden. Watch that practice field go up from the ground. If you think that's a great area, you're nuts. There's no way in and out of that city, and the roads are brutal. Yeah, I mean, I haven't been to Camden in ages. The only thing I ever did in Camden was go to whatever it's called now. I think it was called the Blockbuster Entertainment Center the first time I went there. The Tweeter Center. What other names has that place had over the last 30 years? Outside of going to concerts there in Camden, and I can't even tell you the last time I did that, maybe 15, 20 years ago. I hated it. Yeah, I understood that. Learning a new offense takes time. Plus, they didn't play together in the preseason. Absolutely, Anthony. That's another aspect of it that I didn't mention, the preseason, the lack of snaps together. Look, there had to be a learning curve given for the Philadelphia Eagles this year, offensively and defensively. That's why I predicted a 2-2 start. That's why I went win, loss to start. Because I knew that there were going to be hiccups, Anthony. And Eagles Nation is freaking out. Season's over. Fire Sirianni. Bench Jalen Hurts. I've seen all these takes all over the place. And it's crazy to me. I don't know. You didn't know? Oh, there you go. You learn something new every day, Barbara. Yeah, it was pretty common knowledge about common knowledge. But, a lot of people knew that he tried to buy the pack. And that's why he's so infatuated with the Patriots' way of doing business. That's why, everyone thinks he wants Bill Belichick here. He loves the Patriots' way of doing business. Facts. Just the facts. Coaches really need to rethink this. No starters play. K1, I love the keeping players healthy philosophy. If they did more than one joint practice, maybe. But if you're doing one joint practice, you got to get them some reps, K1. And I think they were going to. Was it week 1 or week 2 that it rained really bad before the game? There's one of the preseason games. It rained really bad and didn't stop till like 30 minutes before kickoff. And the field was really, really wet. I think they would have played a series or 2 in that game, K1. But then I think they all erred on the side of caution not to do anything there. The East Center, that was another one. Yes, our problem was at the Camden Aquarium. Didn't I send you a picture that I found pictures months or years ago? I sent you that, Kyle. Me and Kyle shared a limo with our dates to prom. I predict Eagles 27, Saints 24. Yeah, see, I got a prediction the opposite of that on my sheet. I'm not going to use it, but yeah. Pretty close, though. I think it's going to be a close game, this Eagles game, coming down to the wire. And the Eagles are going to be the team this time that makes the big play in the big moment. Stevie Fuentes saying the Saints are blowing out the Eagles by double digits. What happened to Mr. Positivity, Stevie Fuentes? Man. Phil, I hope our D could step up this week, and I expect it to. If I'm wrong, I feel it could be ugly. I've given you all the stats from the Saints offense all show long. Alvin Kamara, 198 rushing yards, 92 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns, 5.7 per carry. The total offense averages 5 yards per carry on the ground. Derek Carr, 76% completion percentage this season. 5 tutties and 1 interception thrown. The defense has gotten 7 sacks in 2 weeks, 4 interceptions. VCP there in 2 weeks. That's just the whatever bug I'm fighting right now. The VCP today, I have an excuse. I feel like horse crap today. Absolute horse crap. Good morning, Joe. What's up? Give me 27-24 Eagles victory. Kamara going to run all over the Eagles O-line or D-line. If Kamara runs all over us, Joe, then the Eagles aren't winning. They got to keep Kamara to an under 4 yard per carry average. This is something that I really want to think long and hard. Yes, I said long and hard about. We were so hyped that Howie went away from the TCU guys, the Texas, the small school guys, the project guys, the reach guys, they're athletic and we'll teach them guys, and went and just got all these Georgia Bulldog guys. And we're so hyped about it. It seems like bringing in 5 players from the same team might not be the way to go. And I don't know. You're stuck with Carter and Davis at this point, at least for the next year or two. 38-10 Saints. That's no offense, Mike. I love you. I appreciate you. But that is some absolute negativity right there. There's no way the Eagles are that bad. There's no way this Eagles offense would only score 10 points. This Eagles offense is way too good, even with the mistakes, to score only 10 points. The Eagles will score at least 30 points. So if the Eagles are going to lose, the Saints better be ready to score over 35, 40 points, in my opinion. I wrote down one prediction that's not my final prediction. I wrote down 41-38 Saints. That's how the Saints win the game, by outscoring us. So the stats worry me, but I don't expect New Orleans to keep this up for long. New Orleans is a good team. They are not 91 points in 2 weeks good. They're just not. What was funny? Sorry, I lost track there. I make a joke occasionally. It's pretty good. Still positive for the overall season outlook. I think they're going to have to go through some adversity early this season to learn and grow early. Bye week is beneficial. I agree with that. Absolutely. Georgia guys seem lazy. They do. I don't know if it's lazy, content with just being average. You know, being that they're Georgia Bulldogs, it doesn't seem like they have any dog in them, any fight in them. There's something wrong there, and I don't like it. Saints put up at least 40 this week. Well, if they put up 40, they win. I'm hoping we can keep them under 40, and that's how we win the game. Got to bring the Saints back down to reality. Scoring 40-plus is unsustainable. Jose, 100%. They're not going to score 40 points every single week. They're just not. Saints defense is a top 10 unit. They ain't giving up more than 31. Well, my prediction has 31 points for the Eagles in it, just so you know. What's up, Eric? Good morning to you, my man. Phil, when you said you had to think, I'm a little behind on the comments. Sorry. Phil is previewing Joker 2. Am I? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know when I'll catch seeing Joker 2. I just know I won't partake in an adult activity before watching it, because that's what I did when I saw Joker 1, and I was falling out of my seat, freaking out, for that one. I hope so. I hope the Phillies get it locked up. I hope so. But I'm not mad at last night for the Phillies and Taijuan Walker like everybody else. It is what it is. And talking Phillies, if you want to go see the Phillies in spring training next year, then head on over to phillysportstrips.com. Premier travel and tailgate organization to go follow and see your favorite teams on the road or at home. So go check them out, phillysportstrips.com. Sign up on their website, mention EOP and Trending in the AM when you do that. And they got lots of great trips. Obviously, you can go down with them to see spring training in February. You've also got in 2 weeks, Tampa Takeover. It's probably too late to book that. But in October, they got a great trip up to MetLife Stadium for Saquon Barkley's return home to New York. They got the bus trip to Baltimore in December. And, of course, in November, Dallas Takeover Week, F Dallas Week, where Eagles and the Eagles fans are going to march into Dallas and whoop up some Cowboy ass. Guys, check them out, phillysportstrips.com. Again, don't forget to mention EOP and Trending the AM when you sign up on their website. It is what it is. I can get on a side tangent on that. That used to be my least favorite line ever. And I always used to say, it is what it is. No, it's not. It is what you make it. But then I've kind of, in the restaurant business in life, I've kind of fallen back into, it is what it is. When somebody stops showing up to work, it is what it is. You just move on. Fletcher Cox left a year too soon. Carter and Davis need vets to keep a foot on their butts. Yeah. What does that say about those guys, though? I mean, Jordan Davis is in his third year. Jordan Davis in his third year. Jalen Carter's in his second. They come highly regarded from the Georgia Bulldogs, but they need Fletcher Cox. And Fletcher Cox still played pretty well last year. He just wanted to go out last year. And I said it before the season. I said the loss of Fletcher Cox was going to be more impactful on this team than the loss of Jason Kelce. And it's proving accurate so far when it's not what it is. So it is what it is, except for when it's not what it is. I always say it is what it is, except it's not. It's what you make it. That's how I always go about saying that line. I hate that line so much. It's extremely, extremely frustrating. All right, let's get back to the injuries. Obviously, it seems like, it's not confirmed yet, but it seems like A.J. Brown's out. Again, I hope Dallas Goedert to be more utilized. At what point are we going to see Jahan Dotson utilized in this offense? You have no A.J. Brown. Jahan Dotson's got to know at least 3 or 4 plays by now. Maybe it's timing with Jalen Hurts. I'm not sure. But the bigger injury that popped up yesterday was Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. On the injury report, he did not practice. Rumors are he should be okay. But you lose Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, a position you lack depth at all, let alone a little bit of depth. What do? Do you move Avonte Maddox to safety? You start Tristan McCollum. You put Cooper DeJean in the slot. You put Quinyon Mitchell in the slot. Isaiah Rodgers on the outside. What do you do if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson misses the game? And I don't think there's a clear answer on what you do. I don't think there's a right answer on what you do. And I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson is a good player. He runs his mouth, and he makes some big plays. He also makes some boneheaded plays. There's a reason why I think he's tied for the league in missed tackles through 2 weeks. But he's made some amazing plays as well. You miss Chauncey Gardner-Johnson on this defense. That's a huge issue that I don't think people are thinking about right now enough. It ain't what it ain't. Yeah, well, there's another way to say it. Phil, quick change of topic. Did you discuss the Ohtani? I did not get to mention that. 6 for 6, only person to ever get a 50-50 club. Dude, he was 6 for 6. I think it was 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Yes, he's now at 50 homers and 51 stolen bases on the season. Here's my question on this show. I'm not a sports collector. Never really was. I collected a little bit of baseball cards, but nothing really serious when I was a kid. The guy, I think it was a guy, that caught that home run ball. What is that baseball worth? Like, realistically, I really am curious what that Ohtani home run ball could sell for. Because if I caught that baseball, that thing would be getting verified instantly and be being put up in an auction house immediately. That baseball's got to be worth a pretty penny, right? But his performance last night, I mean, how can anyone else win the MVP in the NL over the next 5-10 years? I mean, the guy's got 50 homers, 120-ish RBIs. He's got almost a 1-1 OPS. Shohei Ohtani might be the best baseball player of the last 25, 30 years. There, I said it. Now, yeah, the whole gambling thing has kind of been swept under the rug. Maybe his translator took one for him. I don't know. But the Dodgers are getting every penny out of Ohtani. And just imagine when he starts pitching again. That was a hell of... I didn't watch the game. I saw the highlights and I saw the box score. I was just like, God damn. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being that good? I think they said a few $100K. You got to think it's worth $250, $300K at least. I think if you wait a little bit and really, really set that minimum number, you might even be able to get $500,000 for that ball. You got to think all the people from Asia. He's got fans all over the world. He's not like a U.S. sensation. He's an international star. Kind of ups the value a little bit. At least that's what I would think. McCollum as a player will eventually be a starter here. So Rick, you would go McCollum starting and leave Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. Then you could figure out, Avonte Maddox or Cooper DeJean in the slot. That is probably, Rick, what I would do. I would put McCollum out there with, in mind, Avonte Maddox ready to pull the trigger quick if McCollum isn't ready for that moment. And I would keep Quinyon Mitchell on the outside. And I'd put Cooper DeJean in the slot. I would. Wait until he gets back to pitching next year also. If you're tight for money, yeah, you sell it now. But if you're well off or enough well off that you could survive, you wait till he's done playing. You wait till he gets to the Hall of Fame in 10, 15 years. Then that baseball might be worth $1 million, $2 million. Ohtani may be the best player ever, and he may pitch in the postseason too. I didn't hear that he might pitch in the postseason, but I don't know about ever. I would have to think really, really. There's the joke again, long and hard about that. But maybe he's so good. And wasn't it in Miami too? Nobody even there to catch it. He probably walked out to grab it himself. No, somebody caught it. I'd say he's the best baseball player of all time, simply because he can do it all: pitching, hitting, base running. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people forget Barry Bonds was actually a pretty good base runner early in his career as well. So was Alex Rodriguez, but they're not Ohtani level. The fact that he's such a great pitcher, and he can win the MVP or Cy Young on any given notice or any given season, it's something special. And I always say this about all athletes, all superstar elite athletes. You might not like them as a person, or you might not cheer for the team that they play for. But when you see an all-time great playing, you just got to stop and appreciate the greatness. Like, I hated Tom Brady, but I appreciated the greatness of Tom Brady. I didn't like Mario Lemieux, but I appreciate the greatness of him. Didn't like Jordan, but I understood I was watching the best basketball player of all time when I was a kid. Appreciate greatness. Also, Bonds and A-Rods may have. I mean, I don't think you need to put the word may have in there. They used PEDs, steroids, etc. There's no maybe there. Carter should be motivated to be the best player in the league at his position, and Davis should be motivated to look at as his counterpart and equal. No reason why they can't push each other. Well, they need somebody to push them. I'd make a statement if I'm Vic Fangio. I'd make a statement, Eric, and be like, yo, Ojomo, your snaps are up 10 this week. Booker, give me that spin-a-rooney, and you're going to play 15 or 20 snaps this week. Cut back on Carter and Davis this week to make a point. Yo, you guys better be better. There's other guys that are hungrier. There's hungry dogs on the bench that want those opportunities. Make a statement. He can win any award. He just broke a record going 50-50. It's crazy. I didn't see the rumors that he might be able to pitch, so that's kind of insane. Are Eagles going to get some pressure for once? I don't know. I don't know, man, Chatter. They better. You know, if you're under pressure in any legal situation, you got to call a great lawyer. If you need a workers' compensation lawyer, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, you've been involved in criminal law, call the best. Call David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm at 610-565-0300. Go to cherryandviewlaw.com and let David R. Cherry fight for you and take that pressure off of you. He's going to get you what you deserve in any situation. Again, that's David R. Cherry, the Cherry Law Firm. You call him. Make sure you mention EOP and Training the AM. Call him at 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. And, of course, the Cherry Bombs of the day. Yes, we are officially on the over. I waited. I know Mister's not working. Mister might not be watching today, but Mister still's got his bets in. The important thing is Davis and Nolan are not bust. They are not bust, okay? Well, they might be. I'm not really sure. We will find out over the course of the season. The Jordan Davis, I always like to say Jordan Davis, Kyle Hamilton argument was so annoying. But as the years go on, it might become more and more apparent that it was a mistake. Jalen Carter, I forget who the other one was on the board when Jalen Carter went off the board. There was another player we could have taken there. The Nolan Smith, I forget his name, Brian Branch. I don't know how he's doing now. I know he played okay last year. Brian Branch was on the board. You know, there were options. My upset pick of the week is Cards over the Lions. All right. You know what, Drew? You give me a good reason there. Let's move on. Cards, Lions. Where do I got them on my sheet here? The 4 o'clock game. Yeah, the Cards are 3-point dogs. The Lions in Arizona. All right, give me a second. I didn't actually make my picks. I'm just going to wing them on the fly. Well, good luck to you. Have a great weekend. Birds 27-24. I like that score. That's very possible for sure. He did. They said he was trying out his slider and other pitches. They said he may pitch next year. That's what I read. Okay. Ohtani, yeah. Ohtani was used. Okay. From 1 to 10, what's your possibility of shopping for an edge rusher? Well, they're definitely going to be shopping for one. It's not going to be Hassan Reddick, Jose. Hassan Reddick is not coming back to Philly. He's just not. But they will be trying to. If they continue for the next 2 weeks struggling to get pressure on quarterbacks, during the bye week, he will, Howie Roseman, bring somebody in. All right, let's go through this. I was spot on the Jets smoking the Patriots last night. So that's a win. I'm 1-0 to start the week. All right, first 1 o'clock game on the slate. Giants visit Cleveland. Cleveland Browns are a 6.5-point favorite. I'm taking the Giants in the points. Not outright, but the Browns suck. So I'm taking the Giants in the points, okay? That's pick 1 of the week. Packers visit Tennessee. The Tennessee Titans are 2.5-point favorites over the Packers. Jordan Love is already practicing. Crazy. I'm going to take the Packers and the points in that game. Bears visit Indy. Indy is 1.5-point favorites over the Bears. This is an easy Colts line. These are not my locks. I got one lock this week. But Bears, Colts. Bears stink. Caleb Williams stinks. I will go with the Indianapolis Colts getting the win at home on Sunday. Next one. This one really is a weird line. The Houston Texans visit Minnesota. Minnesota's 2-0. And surprising some. Somehow, the Minnesota Vikings are only 2-point dogs to a darling Super Bowl contending team like the Houston Texans. And that scares me. But I'm going to take the Texans outright in that game. So far, 1, 2, 3. All the games, I'm taking the under. The 3 of 4 games, I'm taking the underdog so far. Eagles versus Saints. Eagles covering. I'll get to that point, the prediction on that one in a second. Chargers visit Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's 1.5-point favorites. I'm taking the Steelers and the points there. Broncos versus the Bucs in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is 6.5-point favorites over the Denver Broncos. Lock. Stone cold lock of the week. The Buccaneers are going to win by 10 points in that game. So the -6.5 is an easy play. Easy lay that money down on that one. Love that game. They were my lock of the week last week. They're my lock of the week again this week. Panthers head to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. And I know Andy Dalton's the starter for the Panthers this week, but you got to take the Raiders and the points in that one. Dolphins visit Seattle. Seattle's 4-point favorites. I'm taking the home favorite again in that one. Seattle. Ravens visit Dallas. Dallas is only a 1-point dog against the Baltimore Ravens. That's a tough one right there. It really is. But I'm going to go with the Ravens. When it's 1 point, it's basically a pick 'em. So I'll take the Ravens in that game. 49ers versus the Rams. Rams are 7-point dogs. I'm going to take the Rams in the points. I think the 49ers win that game. But division rivals, they're always close games. Now to get to, who was it? Was it Drew that said it? Who predicted? Who said this Lions game? Upset pick of the week. There we go. Drew. Lions are 3-point favorite in Arizona against the Cardinals. He said the Cardinals over the Lions this week. I'm going to go the opposite with you. I am going to take the Lions in that game. Okay? I think the Lions are better than the record says. Lions get right. Sunday Night Football. Chiefs go to Atlanta. Atlanta just beats the Eagles. They're 2-0. The Chiefs, no, they're 1-1, the Falcons. They just beat the Eagles. The Chiefs have looked like absolute dog trash this year. Going to Atlanta on Sunday Night Football on a 3.5-point favorites. And I have no idea how to predict this game. No idea. I would love to see the Falcons win this game. Man, I really don't know. I really don't know on this one. I'm going to take the Falcons and the points. I don't know if the Chiefs will lose. Maybe the refs will help them win again. But, man, I don't know. We'll get to the Monday Night Football. There's 2 Monday Night Football games. Jags versus Bills, Washington versus Cincy. We'll get to them on Monday's show. Atlanta money line. Man. It's enticing, Joe. I don't know what the line or what the number is on the money line, but, man, it's enticing. I would lay the 7 with San Francisco. The Rams are so beat up. Yeah. It's a division game. The 49ers are banged up. So no CMC, no Kittle, most likely no Deebo Samuel. There's at least one other offensive player. There's 4 offensive starters that aren't playing, most likely on Sunday for that game. The Rams are just missing Cooper Kupp, to my knowledge. It's going to be like the duct tape game. Both teams are held together by duct tape at this point. What do we got here? If the Eagles lose, do you think they think about firing Nick? Not yet, no. It would take an atrocious 1-6, 1-7 start, Drew, for them to even remotely consider it. It really would. They're not moving on from him at any point right now. Rams have no O-line. Yeah. But the 49ers have no weapons left. I got the Jets right. Here's mine. Bucks -6, love it. New Orleans, I don't like it. Don't like the Chargers. Cleveland, don't like. Houston, yeah. I'm trying to look at them all. I'm trying to remember what I picked on. I don't like the 49ers pick or the Arizona pick. You've changed the lines on some of these, or I wrote them down wrong. Phil, last time Atlanta hosted a Sunday Night Football game was in 2019 versus the Eagles, and Julio Jones took a 54-yard screen to the house for the win. Man, drive a knife right into my heart remembering that one. I had a fun memory yesterday. I got into a fun conversation on Twitter. There was a post, I forget who posted, about Andy Reid's record with the 2 different franchises, the Eagles and the Chiefs. And, 150 plus wins for both franchises. When he puts up the Eagles win-loss record graphic and that one tie, and it just brought back a flood of memories of when certain individuals that I will not name lost that Eagles game against the Bengals for that tie because they did not know the tiebreaker overtime rules. How NFL players don't know the rules, beyond me. No clue. Shocking. I just love when it pops up in my memory feed on Facebook every year because I'm always reminded of it on my Facebook memories. But man, when you see that one tie on Andy Reid's, record, I mean, it's just a bad memory. Oh man. Rams go absolutely smoked versus Cardinals. Yeah, they did last week. They did. That's true. I don't buy the Cardinals though. They super stink. I don't know about that. I don't buy that they super stink. But the 49ers are banged up as well. What is up, Judd? How you doing? Hope you are well. We don't see your pretty face around here much anymore. That's right. Let's go Birds. We're gonna get to my Eagles prediction in a minute or two. WP got a tie against Cincinnati as well. They both did. What's with Cincinnati ties? Dougie Peterson is an interesting one. Somebody just said. Who said it? Who said it? Oh, Drew said it. If the Eagles lose, do they fire Nick Sirianni? No. But Dougie P is an interesting one. How short is Dougie P's leash in Jacksonville? Could Dougie P be the first coach fired if they lose this week to the Bills? Oh no, not yet. Not yet. But he might be one. He might be on the hot seat there in Jacksonville. We haven't seen any progress from Trevor Lawrence. They actually regressed last year after that big victory in the playoffs the year before. This is one here. This one's something. This is something here that I like to keep an eye on. If the Eagles play a 3-4 year, why their linemen are so far away like a wide 9. I noticed a play. I forget what play it was last week, Drew. I felt like it was a wide 9 all over again. What was the name of the coach? They used to run the wide 9 here with Jason Babin, 65 yards off the line. I hated the wide 9. I hated the wide 9 more than sticks defense. Well, you know what? That sucks. That's grounds for quitting the job right there. Just so you know. Bring Dougie P back as the head coach when Sirianni. No, stop. Dougie Peterson, A, would never come back and work for Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie again. 2, we've run that course already. 3, Nick Sirianni ain't getting fired. Plain and simple. Trevor Lawrence looks so average. Since that comeback win against the Chargers 2 years ago in the playoffs, Lawrence looks average at best, maybe? Maybe? You know who's not average at best? The Great Dolan's Bar in Ridley Park. For 65 plus years, they've been the #1 Irish American dive bar in Delaware County. Great food, great times. Check them out, 24 East Sellers Avenue. I'm sure they'll have a great spread out. BCP there again. For the Eagles game on Sunday, go in there, check them out. Get this burger that looks banging on this picture. Tell PJ and his crew that EOP and Train the AM sent you. I mean, beer, burgers, wings, football. You get a perfect recipe right there. Again, find them at donesbar.com, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, on social media. Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley Park, guys. Don't miss it. That's right. A little Irish 4-leaf clover luck for the day here. As we get set. Okay. I do think the Eagles can and will win this game. How is it going to happen? First and foremost, I already locked in one prop bet. Jalen Hurts, anytime touchdown plus 120, I think is a stone cold lock. Jalen Hurts is going to get a rushing touchdown on Sunday. No doubt about it in my mind. Okay? They need to stop Alvin Kamara on first contact. That is what they need to do. I think it's time for Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis and crew to listen to the criticism and up their game a little bit. It's time for Vic Fangio to realize a different rotation is needed. But this game is going to be won because of the Eagles' offense. This game will be won because Jalen Hurts, Kellen Moore, and company are going to control the clock. They're going to keep feeding Saquon Barkley and keep managing the game till A.J. Brown is back in a few weeks. That is how you win this game. You stop Kamara at the line of contact, and you control the clock. I want to see. I hate cliche keys to games. Win the turnover battle and win the time of possession battle. No. Time of possession battle is important when your defense is not performing up to level. So that is where I'm going to look at. This is Saquon Barkley. This is Jalen Hurts. These are the guys that got to control this game on offense. More 50, 60, 70-yard, 6, 7, 8-minute drives. That is how the Eagles do it. I think Jalen Hurts bounces back and has a massive game on Sunday. I'm going to see another 50, 60 yards rushing, a rushing touchdown, maybe 2 tutty passes as well. Maybe Dallas Goedert gets on the board finally and makes me eat my words. Yeah, they might be. I don't know. They think it might be time to try Nolan Smith at inside. Nolan Smith at inside linebacker. Ain't working on the outside. Ain't working on the inside. Nolan Smith might be time to just try Alex Hunt instead of Nolan Smith, Drew. Dial up a blitz one in a while, Vic. It's just not Vic's style, Rick. I hope so, Eric. I'd like to see him on the outside. I'd like to see him spell people on the inside. You got to do something with Devin White. You got to. You can't just keep wasting them. You got to find room to get Devin White on the field on Sunday. Nakobe Dean hasn't been bad. Zach Bond hasn't been bad. I think he's, second in the league in tackles right now. But Devin White can get after a quarterback as well. He can play on the outside as well. It's time to unleash Devin White and J.Alex Hunt on defense. Maybe a little bit of Cooper DeJean as well. Add a little bit of dogfight into that defense. I think the energy of Cooper and J.Alex and the veteran appreciation and leadership from Devin White, who is a Super Bowl champion, who is a former All-Pro. How many All-Pros are on our defensive front seven right now? Devin White. That's it. So put the All-Pro out there. Let him get some burn. And that's can make a big difference in the game on Sunday. Hurts leads all quarterbacks in turnovers past 2 seasons, and Eagles are 2-9 in the last 11 games. For a guy that's very positive normally, that's a very negative stat. Do you think they play more 3 safety formations? I don't think they're going to play 3 safeties. You might be out one of your starting safeties. So you can't play 3 safeties when one of them might not be playing. Sidney Brown needs to get back, by the way. We're going to need Sidney Brown back sooner rather than later in this secondary. I think Chauncey Gardner-Johnson will try to give it a go on Sunday. I think you'll find out today that A.J. Brown is officially ruled out. But I still think this Eagles team can win. So, my final score prediction for the Eagles game. Drum roll, please. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about the Phillies instead. No, I'm just kidding. First and foremost, let me say, before I give this score out. Sunday starts 4 straight weeks. Well, 4 straight games because there's a bye mixed in there. A 1 p.m. start times. And I love, I know it's an unpopular opinion. I love 1 p.m. Eagles games. I can get up, have my coffee, double check my fantasy lineups and bets, watch football, games over at 4, have the rest of the evening to do whatever I want, set up the show for Monday, record my Eagles check, do whatever I want to do. I love 1 p.m. football games. They're also the second busiest time for the pizza shop. Second busiest time. The 4 p.m. and 1 p.m. games are the most business for me. Night games don't do anything for me, financially speaking. Plus, I don't like staying up late. I love 1 p.m. games. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson and Zach need to lead the charge, being former Saints. Hunt Williams need to get increased roles. Well, Hunt needs a role. That's a big key. He hasn't had a role yet. 27-21. All right, so my score prediction for the Eagles. I got the Eagles winning because, yes, the Saints aren't as good as their 2-0 start is. The Eagles aren't as bad as people think after last week's loss. The Eagles win 31-28. So I wrote 4 scores down. I had Eagles 38-35 like Kyle predicted. I wrote down Eagles win 31-28. And then I put 2 Saints wins, 28-24 Saints and 41-38 Saints. But I settled on 31-28 Eagles because I do think, A, the Eagles are better than you think, and B, the Saints aren't as good as you think. You as in the proverbial you, not you specifically to any one person. So I went 31-28. This is the game where instead of the turnover or the big defensive drive we give up at the end of the game, this is the game where the Eagles make the big play. They either come up with the big turnover to seal the game, or Jalen Hurts leads the game-winning touchdown drive. The positive is going to end the game for the Eagles. 31-28, Eagles victory in New Orleans. New Orleans Saints. Eagles get to 2-1, take over the division lead. Rick says Saints 45-27. I'm telling you, if the Eagles get beat this bad, let me just say that the attitude on this show on Monday is going to follow up over Reaction Monday pretty well. It's going to be very negative if that's the case. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive. That could change in 48 hours when that game happens. But as of this moment, I'm feeling good about this team. I'm feeling good about this game. Again, 2-2. That's what I predicted. I got them losing next week to the Tampa Bay. Depending on what happens this week, that could change. But my preseason prediction was 2-2 going into the bye. Win, loss, win, loss. I'm sticking with that. Okay? I tricked myself into picking the Falcons last week, even though I thought the Eagles could lose that game. Even though I predicted before the season they would lose that game, get all homerish in the moment. So I'm going to stick to it this year. I predict the Eagles will beat the Saints, get to 2-1. They'll lose next week to the Buccaneers. I can see it flip-flopping. I can see them losing this week and then beating the Bucs next week. I could. But we need this team to do it. I'm not one for excuses. We can win. We can win. Have confidence. Look, no excuses. They've got to win. Philadelphia is going to be a sad state next week if they lose. There's going to be a lot of pissed off Eagles fans if they lose. But they're not going to lose. I've got confidence that they're going to do what they got to do. They're going to shut down the Saints offense. They're going to control the Saints defense with their offense, and that's what we're going to do. Time for wholesale changes for the Birds. Well, we're about to enter week 3, Rick. Changes aren't happening after 3 weeks. Wholesale changes aren't happening already. This is who the Eagles are. This is the Eagles team and coaching staff for at least half the season. When did they make the defensive coordinator changes last year? Like week 9, week 10, 12, something like that? They're not making any major wholesale changes, Rick. And if you expect that, you're going to be set up for disappointment. I gotcha. Last year's last year. This year's different. Different team, different coaches, different players. Okay? There's going to be a bumpy start to the season. 2-2 is a bumpy start. Don't think defense gets better in 1 week's time. I agree. It's not that they need to get better. They need to adjust, pivot their player usage, et cetera, et cetera. And honestly, the defense was bad last week on that last drive. It's not like we gave up 35, 40 points to the Falcons. I mean, we gave up some rushing yards, yeah. But, I mean, we were in that game. They had to have a miraculous drive at the end of the game where our defense fell apart. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. I know where you're going with that, Rick. Insanity, the definition of the distance of insanity and genius is only measured by success. I get all the cliches. I've just got the positive vibes. I've got the positive feelings right now. The problem is in personnel, really, especially on defense. They've invested a lot into this defense. High draft picks into this defense. Not a lot of money into this defense, but a lot of high draft picks in this defense. And again, Vic Fangio, for as elite as people think he is, he's pretty not elite as a defensive coordinator. He's got just as many bottom 5 defenses as top 5 defenses in his long storied 40-year career. I had it up on the screen. I closed it out earlier. Go look at his defensive rankings over the last 30, 40 years. Some bad ones out there, for sure. It's games like this that prepare you for playoff deep runs. I love that way of saying that. Puts a little hair on your chest. Toughens you up a little bit. Big win this week. Big win incoming for the Eagles this week. To shut up all the naysayers, to shut up all the doubters. A big win that's going to say, yeah, we are who we are. A damn good team that's going to win the NFC East. No doubt about it, in my opinion, guys. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, please. That share button, that subscribe button, that follow button, whichever platform, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you're watching it. Do what you got to do, please, to help grow this channel. I'm up to 74 subscribers on my personal YouTube channel. We're almost at 15,000 subscribers on the EOP YouTube channel. Guys, please do that. Facebook, Twitter, please do that. Closing on 5,000 followers on Twitter. Let's go, guys. Let's pump that share up. I need it. You need it. The more people in these shows, the better. So help spread the word. Find somebody this weekend when you're walking the streets and have them subscribe or follow EOP or me on some platform, but tell them this is where you got to be watching your morning sports content every single day. I'm often duplicated. I'm often imitated, but never duplicated here. CJ, White, Huff, were a lot of the money spent on defense. Yeah, and I questioned 2 of those 3. Look, Reddick, on good authority, was a lot of the problem last year. I have it on good authority that Hassan Reddick was a big problem last year on this defense and in the locker room. Hassan Reddick still wants big money. Howie didn't want to pay it. The Jets don't want to pay it. And if somebody wanted to pay it, a trade would already be done with Hassan Reddick and the Jets and another team. But no one wants to pay Hassan Reddick what he wants. He's got a rep. Just saying. He was disgruntled in Carolina at a point. He was disgruntled in Arizona at a point. He sounds like he was disgruntled in Philly at a point. Hassan Reddick is a talented edge rusher, but he doesn't know what his real worth is. I don't want Hassan Reddick back here. Especially you trade for him, and he's just going to hold out here because he wants that money. People are looking at it wrong. Keeping other teams' offenses off the field with controlling time of possession is what we need. Defense only needs to make plays and stay fresh. Stay fresh by not playing Jalen Carter 75% of snaps in the first 2 weeks. That would help. Stay fresh by not playing Jalen Hunt 1 snap in the first 2 weeks. But I get it. I still got Eagles 31, Saints 28. I hope to do better this week than last week in my bets. I hope to do in my picks better this week. Stay tuned. Maybe Sunday morning, maybe I go live on my personal YouTube channel, linked below in the description, and do some bet content this Sunday. We'll see how I'm feeling. But I can't believe I've made it through almost 90 minutes today. I'm literally, my legs are shaking right now because of the way I feel right now. Cold sweats, upset stomach, maybe an ear infection. I don't know. Got like 300 things wrong with me today. It's like got back from Mexico and like a day later, everything hit me. When a Chase Chunk plays and go 3 and out, that when our defense comes out to die on the hill. Yeah, look, time of possession. I said it. I hate the cliche time of possession is a key to victory. But it's really important this week that we control the clock, that we dominate the time of possession, where we have 8-minute drives that result in touchdowns, not field goals. That's what this team needs. That's what I expect this team to do. What's up, Brad? We're about to check out on the day here. Eagles 49, Saints 7. I love the bold prediction there. That's a big blowout right there. I don't know if they could do that much of a blowout, Brad. But, sure. Why not? Let's go Birds, right? That's what we need, right? Anyway, with that being said, I got to wrap this up here. I got to get to work, I guess. Somehow magically drag myself through a Friday at a pizza shop. Thank you very much, Ben. Greatly appreciate. It's Ben. It's my man, Ben. You're probably the reason why I feel like dog crap today and yesterday. It took an extra day or two for it really to settle in, Ben. But I feel like absolute horse crap yesterday and today. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a lack of alcohol. My body's going through shock treatment of losing the alcohol. But you guys were fantastic. Good luck with your wedding coming up. And we met a lot of great people in Cancun this past week. Ben and his lovely fiance was one of them. You should definitely do that betting Sunday morning. The gamblers won it. Yeah, I'm going to try. Stevie, if I have time and if I feel like it, maybe you can come on with me. We'll see. Good show. Have a great weekend, Anthony, as well. Everybody have a great day. With that being said, we're wrapping it up right here for the day. Guys, again, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all that great stuff. Help spread the great work of this show, guys. I'll be back on Monday. Again, maybe my personal channel. I'll have a gambling show on Sunday. We'll see how I feel. But with that being said, guys, ring the bell, go Birds, and bubbles up to you.